Fantastic Sunday, superb Sunday, and rooted rising to all of you who are joining us live or maybe tuning in later. We're going to get started on time because, no better time than the time that we establish, right? And, that's something that I definitely want to talk about today, especially within our community, whether it be the holistic community, melanated communities, just people in general. We sometimes have, a lack of management when it comes to our own lives, and it's reflected in the different things that we do, such as intaking certain things and not managing the amount of things that we are putting in our bodies, such as mismanaging even time. When you make a commitment and you tell somebody you're going to be somewhere and you're not there, you don't show up. So, my thing is definitely practicing what I preach, because I know that I have been also a victim, or not only a victim, but I have been, in a sense, on that side of, not holding my word, not being accountable to myself, not doing what I say I was going to do. And I think one of the biggest parts of having a holistic mindset is to be able to speak words of power. That means actually actualizing and manifesting the things that you put out into the world, into this planet, into the universe. Because every cell in your body hears what you're saying. And, cosmically, I believe all the stars, all the planets hear what you're saying as well. So with that being said, God family, I just want to welcome y'all to day 2 of Just Juice July, hosted by Ageless Living. Myself, I am Roots God Fender. You could call me Roots for short. And it's just a pleasure to be here, and for some God family to join us as well live. So I would definitely just like to open the floor before we do anything extraneous, or before we get into deep topics. If anyone on the line would like to introduce themselves.
I mean, I will.
Oh yeah, please.
Is my thing out, Bruce?
Is you
can hear me? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I hear you.
I'm at work in the airport. So might be too loud. I was thinking, peace and love, y'all. Monos Detox. I am just I'm a health and wellness aficionado. I own a smoothie company. I definitely know what Roots is talking about, because I wasn't practicing what I was preaching I won't say this whole year, but for a few months in the winter, I was definitely eating some stuff that I know I don't normally eat. And I didn't post because I really didn't want to I felt like a hypocrite. Every time I posted, I know I'm not doing what I'm supposed to. I felt like a hypocrite. So I stopped posting so I could just get my thought process back on. I've been eating raw the last 32 days, so I'm pretty happy for that. And I ain't gonna lie, I did make some juice, but I did eat food yesterday and today, but I plan on trying to get through I can get through it. I just wasn't prepared with certain things to make juices or smoothies, so that was my error. But I plan on trying to do it tomorrow. I don't want to eat this last thing today. But that's about it.
Man, Mo, tell us real quick about your experience juice fasting before, though.
Oh, so I drank 175 days worth of smoothies in 2022. And that was a process. I mean, that was just an uplifting process, because you don't realize that you're really not as hungry as you think, and you don't have to eat as much as you believe. I had so much extra energy. My skin was just glowing, hair was glowing, scalp was on point. I mean, just everything was just flow. It seemed like life was just a lot easier too. Then as soon as you start put bad things in your body, or just not do the right thing, it seems like all of a sudden stuff it's like it diminishes. But however, just from eating fresh fruits and vegetables and staying clean, eating clean, I had a ton of energy and was just light as a feather and felt like the man. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, let's see. I mean, it was, another thing. Stuff doesn't bother you as well. You realize that And you also realize that you can tell that a lot of things come from the food we eat and lower vibrational activities. That's one thing I could really say too. When you start vibrating so high that you're just looking at everybody crazy,
Right.
I'm just like, oh man, you're upset, you're sad, sorry to hear that, but I hope it gets better type of scenario, But I could say the one thing I did bad this year, I fell into my cravings and I went back to the dark side for a little bit. Was it worth it? No. Did it taste good? Yeah. Was it worth it? No. But I already beat myself up enough about it, and I had to hold myself accountable. So I really haven't really been posting online, but I talk to people. I let people know, what's going on, so I don't seem like a hypocrite. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. We are gods, but there's so many things on this planet that are attractive, such as food, and they really dress it up well. And my brother is on here right now, and I love to think, especially in the holistic community, our competition is not really each other. Our competition is McDonald's and Burger King and these big corporations, because really, if somebody's eating at McDonald's, chances are they're going to want to try Burger King too, unless they're loyalists. If they drinking Sprite, they might have tried Pepsi a few times, and therefore they're supporting to see, okay, well, what makes my taste buds feel better? But really, what is it doing? It's all doing the same thing, which is diminishing our cellular life and our cellular health, our spiritual health. And so, yeah, brother, I definitely am inspired by you, and I'm definitely, we in this together, like I just want everybody to be aware that the more people that we have that are thinking on this frequency, then the better we are for the planet. And as I said yesterday, it's like we are the different cells in the body of the planet. And we have to make sure that we are supporting each other in every way that we can, in the most healthy way. So I give thanks for my God, Brother Mo. Sherelle is also on the line. She said she cannot introduce herself, but I would just like to shout her out because she's in a session, and she's a holistic bodywork practitioner, and she also owns a spa in Miami, Florida. So, when I'm down there, I'm definitely going to have to visit her. But yeah,
I'm gonna pull up on you too, Sherelle, if you can hear me. Excuse
yes,
me. Go ahead.
Yes, I thought it was the Aya Apothecary Spa, so I've been meaning to head out there. So, yes, so this juice fast, right? I just want to preface as well. The idea is that it's a challenge for us in terms of really just testing and having an individual plan. The way I like to break it down for people, though, in a practical way, you can definitely attempt, which I'm definitely going to do, 30 days, this whole month of July, of just juicing. There's also an intermittent fast aspect where you can have one meal a day, and then there's the all fruit diet, no cooked foods, eating all fruit. So I think it's just about navigating for yourself what's practical based on the equipment that you may have, the money you're willing to spend, also where you are in your own body in terms of your journey. I definitely think that the juice aspect, though, is such an exercise in discipline. Yesterday, I went to this party. I was actually at 2 parties, and they had different food. A lot of the stuff I already don't eat, but it's just knowing that your senses are heightened, so the aromas, and really all senses are heightened in such a profound way, and I want to talk about that. Before we get into it, if we could just do a few exercises together that we don't have to really do extraneous, but I just want you to all right now think about your posture and think about your breath. It's a way that I love to check in, to just make sure that we are connecting with the divine. That's that spine, that kundalini, that energy that travels up and down our body. It really does exude out of the head and connects to the heavens. So when we're breathing properly and when we're aligned properly, we can exercise that divine connection. We can exercise that channeling with divine powers, with the Most High, with the Creator. All right, so if we could just take a moment and just take a deep breath and breathe out. Now I really want you to focus on your perineum, which is in between your reproductive / your digestive, or I should say your urinary organs. So taking a deep breath in and really feeling your buttocks expanding, and breathe out. Take the deepest breath you've taken all day, really expanding those lower extremities, and the chest is last to expand. And release, breathe out. And you can bring your left ear to your left shoulder. And right ear to the right shoulder. And coming straight, your left hand is going to float to the side and over your head and around. And you're just going to gently pull that left ear to the left shoulder as you feel that stretch in the right side of your neck. Taking a deep breath in there. And release, breathe out. Let your shoulders fall down your back. Let your elbow slightly drift further to the left. One more time, breathe in. And release. On the next breath in, release your hand, bring the head straight. And now the other hand is going to the other side of your body. Out to come up. And that right ear towards the right shoulder. Take a deep breath in. And release. Take a deep breath in. And release. One more time, breathing in deep. And release. Next breath in, you're going to release your hand. Head comes back up. All right. Something I love to do is just really massage my face as I was massaging a lover. You know, something about love, and I said this as well yesterday, is sometimes we think about it in only a sexual manner. So I just want y'all to give some love to yourself right now. Massage your jaw, massage by your nasal cavities, your first eye. A lot of people say, you know, sexual energy is healing energy. I like to say love energy is healing energy, because we see the hypersexualization that can be very detrimental to our health. But then if we have hyper love, you know, that can never lead us astray. Just shake it out. If you want to stand up and just bounce a little bit, or if you want to just bounce on your sits bone, which is your muscles that you're sitting on, and just shake it out. All right, y'all. So let's get into it. Does anyone...
Yo, brother,
please.
Quick thing. I know I do got to go back to work soon, but I'm going to be in this room as much as I can. I just have to let you know.
Oh, don't worry about it, bro. It's all good. It's all good. We flowing. And the replay will be there, so don't even worry about it, man. We in full record mode right now, so yeah. So we good. Don't worry. All right, brother. Bless. So yes. All right, y'all. So the thing I wanted to talk about today, there's a few things actually, because I think it's very important, especially as we're fasting, as we are exploring the parts of our body and also the way that we interact with the world around us, based off of not having all of that substance or sustenance even that's going into our bodies. A lot of us are used to eating 3 meals a day, and as I was breaking down yesterday, it really does take a lot of time to prepare that. So now that additional time that we are now finding, even though some of us may be taking some time to juice, I like to do a big prep when it comes to juice. Today, so far, I've had some Cuban oregano tea, as well as some lemongrass. And I also had this oregano tincture by my god sister at Raisin Herbal Bar. So, I definitely want to just keep a certain level of nutrition going in my body, and also helping to eliminate. And of course, in the first days, you're going to see that your bowel movement is really just flushing the system out, allowing the intestines, allowing the bowels to flow and get all of those things out. It's cleansing the liver, it's cleansing the kidneys. And a lot of people don't understand that we have so much power based on the choices that we make to heal ourselves. And life is all about, to me, how we express, how we explore, and how we experience, right? So in our expression, in the way that we interact with the different things or the different people, and the things that we may be saying or doing, it says a lot about where you are. And I don't personally like to consider myself a healer per se. I believe that all of us are a part of the Creator, and we have that cosmic ability. I like to think of myself, as Sabi said, as a messenger, and the ideas are already out there. Mother Earth already provides so much, and it's really just about us being able to get back to where we're supposed to be. I mean, things like the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, all of these spiritual practices, even on the hieroglyphics, they already laid out the blueprint. So I don't think anyone is necessarily reinventing the wheel. It's more so breaking out of this paradigm, this matrix, this system that has stopped us from expressing ourselves in a healthy way. So we have to explore these different ideas. So even being able to get out of your comfort zone, even being able to say, all right, let me explore fasting. Let me explore different countries and be in a place where I'm going to be able to experience something new that can potentially elevate me and ingrain something within me for the rest of my life, so I'm better at how I express myself based off of the experiences that I've had. So I like to think of my 3 E's: express, explore, experience. It's fundamental that we make sure that we are constantly practicing livity as opposed to death culture. A lot of things that are pushed on and promoted to us are death culture. And if you think about the video games, if you think about the movies, if you think about even how there's so much emphasis on disrespecting each other in certain environments and in certain cultures, we become way too comfortable with that. People have become way too comfortable with feeling like, oh, I gotta be better than you, as opposed to, we are all connected, and we all have a power within us that can not only inspire somebody else, but help to change the world. And I love bringing up what Michael Jackson said in Man in the Mirror. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change. And it's like certain things within myself. I'm a constant healer for me. I don't think that I've arrived or anything like that, because there's, like I was saying in the beginning of this video, there's an idea when we speak certain words and we're manifesting certain things. You should be able to line all of that up based off of the abilities that we have, but then based off of your expression as well. So we need to explore these ideas that we have deeply ingrained in us, that are in our DNA, that the Creator has said, you know what, this is who you are meant to be. But a lot of us can't even experience that until we explore ourselves. And therefore, we express in a very ungodly way because we don't truly know thyself. So express, explore, experience. Feel me? Think about the different ways that you are expressing yourself and what areas may be showing a sign of lack, or a sign of unhealthy habits, or a sign of destructiveness, a sign of, and it really goes back to your interactions with people. And as we come into this fast phase, as we come into Just Juice July for those of you who are juicing, or even if you're watching later and you choose to juice another month, which is great too. We got to definitely think about all of the things that we may be releasing. One thing that I wasn't conscious of when I started my journey is as I was detoxing, so was my mind. So it's like all of the pollutants and the way that I would speak to people, it was really coming to the surface. All of my feelings were really coming to the surface. I had to really express or release all of that for me to explore the true core of who I was. It's like you going on a journey, maybe you in the jungle, you got to get through all of this muck, and you got to get through all of the different branches to get to maybe that fruit tree you've been looking for, you feel me? So it's definitely so important to express, explore, and experience. And no experience is invalid. Like, you have a truth and that should be honored. Even if it's not honored by other people, you got to honor it for yourself. Because there's always going to be people who are trying to deny you of your birthright. But that is not a ego thing. That's not based off of them. That's just a test from the Most High. And two stories that I like to tell about that. You know, my mother used to tell me I couldn't dance. And I ended up going to musical theater school and making a lot of money from dancing, you know, and also being cast in a lot of shows. One show in particular where I was a dance captain, and I'm like, oh, wow. And you know, I showed out. It was pretty dope. But I didn't hold that against my mother. I just saw it as a test. I used to have a friend as well. When I first saw Dr. Aris online, and he was saying, well, not the first time, but he was basically inviting people for the first time to come to Panama. And I was like, yo, I'm going to do that. And the friend at the time that I was sitting by, he was like, man, that's silly. No, you're not. Like, you know, that's a 1 in a million type of thing. And I'm like, well, I'm a 1 in a trillion being. You know, I'm going to make this happen. Like, there's nobody like you. And though we may be similar in certain ways because we are connected, we are God family, we do have to honor that individual to then be able to express better as a whole. So of course, I ended up going and chopping it up with Dr. Aris for a minute, and it was a beautiful time, and I'll forever be grateful for that. But if I didn't express myself in a way that was true to me, as opposed to going off of everybody else's expression, I wouldn't have been able to explore that side of me. I wouldn't have been able to explore Panama and explore having a teacher in Dr. Aris, which created so many experiences that I will hold for the rest of my life. Ashe. I wanted to also talk about our social battery based off of these things, because I've experienced that my social battery is a lot lower during my fast, and it's really an indicator to just go within, and it's been beautiful, and allowing my body to really rest as well when it needs rest. Now, these past few days, I've been out later than I wanted to, and that's something that I want to get into as well, because the circadian rhythm is very, very important. And when we are in tune, when we are aligned with the universe, then we are able to really start to connect in such divine ways. You know, there's hours of the day where the body operates in different facets. And so really understanding the circadian rhythm, anybody could go and Google the chart, but really understanding the circadian rhythm and what your body is doing, like the highest levels of what part of your body is processing certain information during the day and the night, is so important. So yeah, we definitely have to explore deeper ways of health. And going back to the social battery, there will be interactions that can either energize you and charge you up, charge your cells, or there will be interactions that will really take away from your day and diminish you. And even though we can play it off and we can also learn lessons, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to have the capacity to want to hear a lot of information from other people. So the thing is that what I like to do on my fast is I like to be still and really allow information to come to me from the divine. And once again, that's not to say that that can't come through other people. It's just to say that we have to be very aware in the environments that we're putting ourselves in, the experiences that we're having while we're fasting. So something that's big for me too is connecting to the circadian rhythm, because it operates off of light. Sometimes we trick our bodies with these blue lights on our phones and our laptops. And though there's a way to untrick the trick by tricking the devices, or by tricking ourselves, by turning our dimmers on our phones down, or even changing the color of our screens to a more red hue, it still doesn't take away the fact that we are receiving information from these devices as well. And so we have to be very cognizant and aware of that, especially as we are winding down. When the sun goes down, you really have to be aware that if there's light around you, especially if there's information processing in that light, because the sun is really just the original cell phone or the original computer, the original light of any source. There's information that is coming through to us. And when it's time for us, nature tells us when it's time for us to wind that information down and really connect back to self. You feel me? And in our dream state, that's why there's so much exploration that is possible. But the thing is, we limit those possibilities when we take things that are toxic, when we stay up late at night with the cell phone in our face, when we really ignore the circadian rhythm by not going to rest at a proper time, at an appropriate time. And then people wonder why there's so much depression, there's so much anxiety, there's so much frustration on our planet. The mental health is so low in this country, if you think about it. All of these things that are happening, it's not just because, people are evil. It's because people don't take care of themselves. They don't treat themselves good. So, bad things will happen when you don't treat yourself good. And so connecting back to that circadian rhythm is going to be such a healing and harmonizing practice for us, because now we are allowing Mother Nature, we are allowing the Most High to nurture us back to health. And for anybody who's struggling with any sort of disease, that's what I believe is one of the main steps when we get back in tune, when we get outside in the sun for a few hours, and also know, that there's times when we need to be winding down to get ready to rest. Like I said, the past few days I've been out. I went to bed at like 4 or 5 in the rising, and I realized I had to tell some of my friends today that I was going to meet up with. It's like, this is not right. I don't want to do this and make a habit of this while I'm fasting. Like, it's one thing when we're not fasting and to pick maybe one day out the week where, okay, I might do an evening event, but it's another thing to do back to back to back. And so based off of my experience, I want to express that idea so others can explore the possibility of really investing in our rest. Invest in your rest. And I think everything, the rest will figure itself out. Not the rest sleeping. I'm saying everything else in your life will. Everything will open up because you will become more clear. And also in your dream state, you'll have such amazing explorations. And I think it's a beautiful thing when we can learn in our dream state, when we can allow ourselves, whether one wants to call it lucid dreaming or astral projection or any of the different facets of dreaming. I don't want to go too deep into that today. I just more want to talk about the aspect of even getting there. You feel me? How do we even get to a point where we're able to experience our dreams on a real level, to where it begins to impact our lives or impact our mind, to say, okay, well, now I'm waking up inspired. I remember listening to Prince all the time talk about how he would dream about songs. And it was something that I related to, especially whenever I'm in a music vibe. And it's so powerful that somebody can be so aligned with their purpose that now it's coming to them even in their rest. So going back to the idea of our social battery now, once again, what are we intaking? And even if we think about social media, there was someone who got upset with me for unfollowing them, and it's like, listen, this is not feeding my social battery in a healthy way. That's not something I said yet, but it's something I want to say now, because we even have to realize the input that's coming from these devices. These devices are divisive. And so this information that we are constantly taking in, it needs to be questioned. There needs to be some sort of filter. And I want to be able to explore my page with the people I'm following, and even if I don't listen to it, I can feel something from it to the point where I can just boom, heart, 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 heart. And I think it's important because I want to support people even if I don't necessarily make the time all the time to say I'm going to check out every single video that I'm scrolling through. And the reason why I think that's a beautiful thing is because sometimes we fixate so much on celebrities and not knowing that we can support each other's businesses even just by a quick comment or liking something, to say to the algorithm, yo, this is something I support. But the social battery aspect is, unfortunately, a lot of us have people around us who are not even willing to do that support. A lot of people are following us just to see, all right, what they gonna do today, or what can I learn from them today. But even though I don't want to outwardly show support, I don't want to publicly show support. And I think that does stem from a lack within that individual, as opposed to saying, you know what, this is just not aligned with me. There's something about this person that I just don't choose to support, but yet I'm following them and watching their every move. And there's something to be said about, your friends who, may talk about, like, I always find it weird when people will talk about my posts, but they don't acknowledge it online. And it's like, I don't get why you want to talk to me in person about the post and you said nothing about it. And for me, the way that I choose to love and the way that I want that love reflected is holistic support. And when we are really giving energy to people who are not necessarily giving us energy, it's draining to the social battery. And I'm using social media as an example because, it is a clear example, but it also is a great indicator and a measurement to see, okay, well, who is supporting me? Whether it's a business, whether it's something that I'm just putting out there, or whatever it may be. I feel like as business people or people who create creators, and if your intention is to put this out there, you would hope that the people that are supporting you are, your close friends and your family. And unfortunately, that's not always the case. And then it goes to really show, like, how much do people care about you before you reach that pinnacle of success, as opposed to when you're in that process of, oh, now everybody's watching. Now, since everyone's watching, now people want to support you. Now because other people co-signed it, now they want to say, oh yeah, I've been knew this person and whatnot. And I think that we have a backwards way of looking at that, and it's not anything personal. What I think it is, well, it is personal for that person, but it's nothing personal against you. It really is an indication for how that person shows up for themselves. So it's really important to not only see how you express, explore, and experience life, but then look at the people around you. Look at the people who you may be listening to, and look at their relationships, not just with themselves, but their relationships with their family and the people they claim to be friends with. Listen to the way that people talk about others, because you are not free. You are not saved from that level of scrutiny. If they're willing to scrutinize others in that capacity, then once again, it's showing who they are. It's really revealing something about them. And with that being said, that's really all I wanted to jump on and talk about today. But I give thanks for this amazing opportunity to just express today. And you know, this fasting thing is a powerful thing, and I just want to encourage everybody to really tap into self and start to listen to your body a lot more. So, you know, this will be available for those of you who are watching live, but this will be available for, you know, on the YouTube. And if you happen to be watching on YouTube, please consider joining the Ageless Living groups on either Telegram or Discord. We also have a Facebook group. If you want the Facebook group, you can message me, and we could definitely get it popping on Facebook too. You know, Instagram, Ageless Living LLC, at @rootsgod_. And if you would like to support me as well and support the mission of Ageless Living, if you have gotten anything out of this, we'll definitely probably be putting the what do you say, the whatever that website is, I can't remember it, where you base it. Oh, Patreon, right? Where we'll have different incentives and whatnot. But other ways is you can share this post, and then you could also Cash App Ageless Living LLC. And you know, all of your support definitely is encouraged, and definitely and I receive it with open arms and enough love. And then I also want to say, for those of you who are in New York City, well, we do have an event next week on Friday. It's called Heal Thyself. This is another Heal Thyself, but this is on a Friday, and it's being ran by my god brother Ether, who is going to be facilitating this event in Bronxlandia, at Bronxlandia. So please definitely come support that. I will be putting the link in my my bio, and also I'll attach it to this video as well. And yeah, definitely consider coming out if you're in New York. And then we announce our next Heal Thyself Sunday as well, which is going to be July 23rd from 1 to 6. So that link is already in my bio. So definitely pull up. I will be serving juices and hors d'oeuvres at the Bronxlandia event, and also providing the cacao for the cacao ceremony. If anybody is in the New York area and you want to be supplied with some juices, you could definitely hit me up. And yeah, it's Just Juice July, so let's celebrate our bodies, let's celebrate liberty. And blessings to all of y'all. Hope you have a prosperous July 2nd, or whenever you may be watching this. Have a prosperous day. Stay rooted, stay blessed. I love you so much, God family.